Once upon a time, on a tiny tropical island, lived a little boy named Flip. Flip loved living on the island. He loved swimming in the crystal clear water and playing with his pet crab, Claw. He especially loved going fishing with his dad. They would get in their little boat and go out on the reef to catch fish for dinner. One day, while they were fishing, Flip's dad got a bite. "I've got one," he yelled excitedly. "Come, help me! Flip!" Flip jumped into action, but when he reached for the fishing line, the fish gave a mighty tug and splashed back into the water. Flip's heart sank. That was the biggest fish he'd ever seen, and now it was gone. "Don't be sad, son," said his dad, giving him a gentle pat on the back. "There will always be more fish in the sea." But as they sailed back to shore, Flip couldn't stop thinking about the big one that got away. He wanted to prove to himself that he could catch a big fish, too. The next day, Flip decided to go fishing all by himself. He put on his favorite red hat, grabbed his fishing rod, and walked down to the beach. He didn't have any bait, so he just tied a bit of string onto his line and cast it into the water. Then he sat down on the warm sand and waited. Time passed slowly, and Flip started to think maybe his dad was right. Maybe he wasn't cut out to be a fisherman. Just as he was about to give up, he felt a tug on his line. Yanking it back, he saw a shiny, colorful fish flopping on the sand. It was unlike any fish he'd ever seen before. Its scales shimmered like jewels, and its fins looked like they were made of silk. "Wow," whispered Flip, reaching out a hand to stroke its head. The fish wriggled in his hand, and suddenly it began to glow. In a flash of light, the fish was gone, and in its place was a beautiful mermaid. "Who are you?" asked Flip, backing away slowly. "Why did you bring me here?" The mermaid giggled, and her tinkling laughter sounded like wind chimes. "I brought you here because you have a kind heart," she said. "I'm a flying fish, and I can grant you a wish for saving my life." "Oh," said Flip, unsure what to do. He thought about the big fish that got away and knew exactly what he wanted. "I want to be the best fisherman in the whole wide ocean," he declared. The mermaid waved her magic wand, and in a swirl of sparkles, she vanished. As quickly as she'd appeared, Flip rubbed his eyes, wondering if it had all been a dream. When he looked down at his fishing rod, though, he knew it was real. His simple wooden rod had been transformed into a magnificent golden staff. And at its tip, a sparkling jewel pulsed with magical power. He walked back to his village, feeling like a king returning to his kingdom. All the villagers gathered around him, and Flip raised his staff high. In a burst of golden light, a school of colorful fish appeared in the water. There were hundreds of them, all shimmering like jewels in the sunlight. The villagers cheered and clapped, and Flip felt like he could fish forever. But as the sun began to set, he remembered the flying fish. He raced back to the beach, hoping he could find her, but there was no sign of the mermaid anywhere. Disappointed, he sat down on the sand, and suddenly a familiar voice rang out. "So, does this mean we're best friends now?" Flip turned around to see the flying fish perched on the tip of his staff. She was giggling, and her eyes twinkled with mischief. "Best friends?" said Flip, smiling back. "I'm so glad you're my best friend, Flip," she replied, and together they laughed as the sun dipped below the horizon. And so, thanks to his new friend, Flip spent many happy days fishing with his villagers. He never forgot the valuable lesson he learned from the flying fish. A true friend is someone who helps you discover the best parts of yourself. The end.